Want to run Facebook ads and actually sell more cars? Want to know the first thing to look at to optimize your Meta Ads campaigns if you're a car dealer or looking to sell more vehicles and get more vehicle sales opportunities? That's what we're going to talk about today. What's going on, everybody? David Feldman-Makrias back with you. And if you've been watching my channel for any period of time, you know I talk a lot about Google. Google this, Google that, blah, 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 blah. Mostly for car dealers. Also local businesses and e-commerce companies, but mostly for car dealers. So we're going to pivot a little bit today, and we're going to talk about Facebook ads. And I'm using Facebook ads and Meta ads a little bit interchangeably. Meta ads is really just the platform that we go into now. It's rebranded as Meta. Meta ads you could serve on Facebook and on Instagram. So again, I'm going to use those interchangeably. Let's look at Meta ads, the Meta ads platform, as known as Facebook ads. So we're going to go right to the back end. Okay, so we're actually in the back end of Meta Ads. You'll see the little symbol up here. That's our Meta Ads symbol, and this is the Meta Ads Manager. You'll see it as adsmanager.facebook.com. If you've run any Meta Ads or Facebook Ads campaigns, you might be familiar with this platform. If you're seeing it for the first time, that's okay. I'm going to show you, this isn't really a basic tutorial on how to run Facebook ads, quote-unquote Meta Ads. This is more of you already have some ads going, you've configured some things, and you're looking to optimize and maybe even get more sales from it. So the first thing that I'm going to look at is actually what's called in the ad set level. In Google, we have campaigns, ad groups, and ads. So there's that middle level ad groups, which we don't pay a lot of attention to. But in Meta or Facebook ads, there's what's called campaigns, ad sets, and ads. And the ad set level, that middle level, is actually where we spend the most amount of time in. And that's because the classic version of Facebook ads, when you set up a campaign, you actually configure a bunch of really important information in the ad set level. Those things would be your budget and your audience. Those two things are actually set in the ad set level. Now, more recent changes in Facebook ads and Meta ads have you set it in the campaign level. You can do that too, but as long as I've been working Facebook and Meta ads, probably the last little under a decade or so, I usually go to, my default is the ad set level. So if you have it set up under this situation, that'll help you a lot. Plus, even if you have it set up at a campaign level, the audience is still controlled at an ad set level. So I'm actually in a sample store, sample dealership, and this is my campaign ad set and ad level right here. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to go to this ad set level, and this ad set level has a bunch of different items. I have the ad set name, I have conversion actions, performance goals, cost per result goals, dynamic creative, a budget, so on and so forth, when a start date and end date is, all this different stuff. So actually the most important part is the audience section. The audience section is so important because this almost acts as the keyword part for Google. It's basically who we're serving an ad to. Now, Google works very differently than Facebook does to trigger an ad. Google, someone has to type in a search query and a keyword, or it's not really keywords now, but sort of still is, depending upon what campaign you're talking about. But let's simplify it. In Google, someone types something in, and we have a set of terms we want to show up for, and we pull the audience. You like that, Cameron? We pull the audience based on what they're searching. Facebook and Instagram, the Meta Ads platform, doesn't work like that. It actually works on pushing a message to an audience. We're not pulling them based on what they're doing. We're pushing something out to them based on what Facebook and Meta know about them, right? So that's why the audience section is so important. So within the audience section, for car dealers, you actually have to be considered under what's called a special ad category. That deems your business as a financial product and service. So there's a couple caveats to that. with that, that means because we're car dealers and we're serving ads, we really don't have all the audiences that we'd like. We don't have Meta Ads first party audiences that we can utilize. We don't have a lot of that differentiation. So, for example, I can't play with the demographics here. I have to be between 18 and 65. I cannot change that. Doesn't matter if you're a car dealer in Massachusetts or Washington State or anywhere between. You have to leave that. You also can't change the gender. It has to be all. And the reason is because Facebook over the last 5 years plus has really cracked down on certain industries as far as what they can target. Because Facebook and Instagram, Meta, is a really powerful advertising tool when used effectively. So, for the detailed targeting, this is the in-market or available audiences within Meta that we can actually pull. So for this example, I'm targeting people that are interested in car dealerships. So that could be members of car dealers or people that just show that car dealer intent interest. It could also be buyers. And they must also match the section of being interested in an SUV, sedan, or luxury vehicle. The reason we're layering these two is pretty significant. The main reason is we want to target people that are as defined as possible. So we define that based on narrowing conditions. Narrowing conditions, I mean falling within multiple buckets. And if any of you watching this are familiar with if-then statements and or statements, this is where that will apply. So essentially what this means is I want to target anyone in this bucket, in this car dealership retailer interest bucket, but who also has an interest in luxury sedan or SUV vehicles. That means they have to be in that car dealership interest and a luxury interest, or car dealership interest and a sedan interest, or car dealership interest and an SUV interest. So it could be any one of these buckets, but it has to be this and at least one of the three. Could be multiple. So that gives our audience targeting a little bit more narrowed down filtering. So this is I consider this to be a broad interest targeting inside of Facebook's available audiences. So with that being said, we can get a lot more granular with this, and that's where it comes to audience definition. But before I even go into audience definition, there's also a option 2, which I have blurred out for the sensitivity of this client, but this is the location filter. So if I'm actually targeting Meta Ads for a car dealership, I'm usually going to start with a 15-mile radius around their store. Couple things to note: you can't really do anything besides radiuses in Meta Ads, which is similar to Google Ads for car dealers, because of that credit-based category. Also, you have a minimum 15-mile radius that you can use. You can't go smaller than that. That is Meta's proprietary way of targeting, especially when you're deemed in this special ad category. So being in the special ad category has limitations, but in order to advertise for car dealers, we have to do that. So that's going to define your audience too, very similarly to how Google's audiences, Google's audience that they serve ads to is defined as well. Another item to look at when you're defining your audience is you're going to look at your audience definition. So I like to have anywhere between, broad is okay, but I'd like to have in the yellow, which is not too narrow where it's not going to serve ads, but also not too broad where we're just going to serve ads to a bunch of people maybe we don't want. So here's a way to actually narrow further. Let's say I want to target people in market, have interest. I want to target SUVs, but I'm also targeting a luxury store. Excuse me, maybe this is for Infiniti, and I want to target people interested in QX80s as an example. One thing I might do is I might come in here and change this, and I'll eliminate the sedan and trucks. But then I'm going to narrow further, and then I'm going to type in luxury, and I hit luxury vehicles. So check this out. Now my audience criteria has to be someone that's interested in this car dealership category. They also have to be interested in an SUV, and they also have to be interested in luxury vehicles. So that's a way we can filter down our audience. And note that our audience went from like 173,000 reach, 173,000 reach in the broad level to now 100,000 reach in the, doesn't really say what level this is, but in between broad and narrow. So that's the sweet spot. So that actually would be really, really great to use for that QX80 example. So guys, this is the heart and soul of Meta Ads advertising for car dealers. You have to know what your detailed targeting is. I like to use a mix of in-market data, plus I also like to use a mix of custom audience data or first-party data. You could take your CRM contacts, even your DMS contacts, and you can upload them, or even a name of email addresses, and you can upload them into Meta Ads and get some sort of customer match. We'll talk about that in a later video. Let me know in the comments if you'd like me to talk more about how to set that up or what that means. But that's another audience layer too. And even when you have all those and maybe you have a successful one, then we can use that as a lookalike, clone that audience, have Meta find similar types of audiences and grow from there. So the audience potential is really expansive. Guys, that is the heart and soul, again, of Facebook ads or Meta Ads advertising. It's all about the audience that we target. So let me know what you think of this video. Give me some options. Give me some comments of things I can help respond to in the community. And I would love to go down the Meta Ads rabbit hole for car dealers even more so. And you will see more of that coming in soon to be had videos. One of them that we'll have coming up is actually a way that you can acquire more vehicles very, very effectively for very, very cost-effective numbers in Facebook ads. So essentially, you get more people that want to give you their car, and that way, you could quote-unquote pay top dollar for it. So anyways, thank you very much, David Feldman-Makrias, and we'll talk to you real soon. Looking forward to seeing your comments. And yeah, that's it.